Hey everyone. I just wanted to, do a quick market review, give you a taste of what we offer our premium members twice a week. We also offer market recap, which is a momentum plays recap 3 times a week, as well as live trading every single day with classes mix matched all throughout the week. So obviously we have a lot going on in the news right now, involving Russia, and so that will be basically all of my market review for today. So I just have the NASDAQ showing right now, just so you can see the movement for today. Let me back it up just a little bit so we can see everything. So futures turned positive Sunday night when the White House said President Joe Biden had agreed in principle to a summit with Russia's Putin. Initial enthusiasm for a Biden-Putin summit faded as Russia said there were no concrete plans yet. Dow Jones futures fell sharply this afternoon, along with S&P and Nasdaq futures, because Russian President Vladimir Putin recognized 2 separatist regions of Ukraine as independent, sending in Russian troops. The U.S. and other Western leaders condemned the move, promising limited sanctions for now. So we have moved into Ukraine. Russia has moved into Ukraine, showing, they're getting a little too antsy, and this is not good news for anyone. So more on Putin recognizes separatist regions. Putin, in a televised address, recognized the independence of separatist Donetsk and Luhansk provinces, later ordering Russian troops in those areas as quote-unquote peacekeepers. That violates the 2015 Minsk Accords following the last Russian-Ukraine conflict, and the move is widely seen effectively annexing those parts of eastern Ukraine while allowing Putin to claim he's not invading Ukraine. So he has, he's trying to play his chess. He's moved troops in to play peacekeeper, quote unquote, and it's not technically an invasion, but it's still breaking the 2015 Minsk Accords. Putin may feel that he can recognize the separatist regions and effectively annex them with minimal sanctions. After annexing Crimea in 2014, the move also could split the West's unity from the Ukraine crisis. US, NATO, and European leaders all condemn the move, but what actions will they take? So we've seen Biden will impose sanctions on the Donetsk and Luhansk provinces, a relatively modest step, but said more would come. So not a big reaction from President Biden. White House said initial steps were separate from swift and severe economic measures that Biden had mentioned before. So we have seen a little move from every side. And those swift and severe economic measures will come should Russia further invade Ukraine. The UK and EU also say they will take new limited measures in response to Putin's actions, with Germany and Italy among those urging caution. The question we have to think about is, will Putin continue with a broader Ukraine invasion, which would involve a major land war in Europe and definitely trigger major sanctions? If nothing else, expect Russian troops to remain mobilized, if only to pressure Ukraine and the West to accept the latest carve-out. Putin, in his emotional address of grievances and justifications, said Ukraine was the creation of communist Russia and that it was madness that various republics were allowed to leave the Soviet Union as the Soviet Union broke apart. So they basically show that Putin sees Ukraine and the Baltic states of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania as illegitimate. So we have basically backtracked in time in Putin's mind. So on to the Biden-Putin summit. There's a lot of doubts. President Biden agreed in principle to meet Putin. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Sunday night in a statement that would follow a meeting late next week between Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. A Biden-Putin summit would take place only if Russia didn't invade Ukraine. So we're kind of looking like Russia's ready to do it at any moment. So Russia claims Ukraine incursion. Russia claimed Monday, today, that its army destroyed 2 Ukrainian APCs that allegedly crossed into Russian territory, killing 5 Ukrainian soldiers and taking 1 prisoner. Ukraine denied that it crossed the border. Ceasefire violations between Ukraine and pro-Russian separatists have surged in the past few days. Separatist leaders have ordered a full military mobilization and civilian evacuation, claiming Ukraine is close to launching its own offense. Local pro-Russian media has claimed explosions in rebel-held parts of eastern Ukraine. Ukraine's military has said Russia is shelling rebel-held areas as a false flag operation. So a false flag operation is basically boy cried wolf, and now it's time to invade. So they're setting up a fake reason to cause an invasion, which is not a good time to be in. And this is what we are actually looking forward to, was going to be the false flag. It was not surprising, and we've seen Russia try, slowly but surely to set up that false flag operation. So the Dow Jones futures today. Dow Jones futures fell 0.9% versus fair value. S&P 500 futures fell 1.25%, and the Nasdaq 100 futures fell 1.9%. All rose modestly Sunday night, like we said, with the initial reaction to the Biden-Putin summit, but they are back near their Sunday evening lows. Needless to say, futures have been volatile, 100%, shifting with every Russia-Ukraine headline. Dow Jones futures are now halted and will reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern because the U.S. markets were closed today, but other exchanges were open. So it's President's Day, no actual stocks are trading, and within the next 6 minutes, because we see it's 5:54, futures will continue to trade. Russia's benchmark stock index dived 10.6% today, while the ruble tumbled on fears of a Ukraine invasion. Now, this is just absolutely obvious. U.S. crude oil futures jumped up 3%, continuing to rise after the U.S. stock futures were halted. Remember that overnight action in Dow futures and elsewhere doesn't necessarily translate into actual trading in the next regular stock market session. So I feel like the market is mostly being controlled by the Russia-Ukraine news, and we'll just have to see what happens based on what they do. So let's talk about stocks. 5 stocks that don't suck: Apple, O'Reilly Motive, Commercial Metals, Union Pacific, and Nutrien are 5 stocks holding up near buy points with RSIs at or near highs. Apple dwarfs all of these names, but it's the only one trading below its 50-day moving average. Apple's relative strength line is amazing. It has been unwavering through all rate hikes, rate hike news, CPI data, all of that. Nvidia and Tesla just hanging on for life. Nvidia and Tesla rebounded from their near 200-day moving averages on Friday. This is where the Tesla stock and Nvidia found support in late January. The question we have to think about is, can these big former winners continue to do so? It'll likely depend on the market rally's next move. But as mega cap stocks, Tesla and Nvidia stock will have something to say about the overall market direction. As always, Trump's Truth Social is now on the Apple App Store. Donald Trump's Truth Social site debuted in the App Store at midnight on Monday. So that would be last night. It's a big step forward or a big step toward the social media return of President Trump. Facebook and Twitter both banned Trump in the wake of the January 6, 2021 storming of Capitol Hill. Some users reportedly struggled to set up accounts after downloading the Truth Social app. Truth Social is set to be fully operational at the end of March. Analysts say Truth Social will be sure to attract a lot of users to the start, but profitability could be difficult. Truth Social is part of Trump Media and Technology Group, which is going public via SPAC merger with DWAC. Everybody who trades stocks knows DWAC. It's been a very crazy stock to follow. Home Depot headlines earnings before tomorrow's open, while Mosaic and Palo Alto Networks are among those due after the close. Tesla and Nvidia are ones to watch tomorrow, but like we had said, they'll make the market move and they will move with the market. As for COVID news, COVID cases worldwide reached 426 million, with COVID deaths topping 5.9 million. COVID cases in the U.S. have hit 80.12 million, with deaths above 959,000. New COVID cases have tumbled in the U.S. and worldwide. Hospitalization and death also down. COVID restrictions are being scaled back or removed in many states and countries all around the world. One exception is Hong Kong, which is seeing its first real spike of the pandemic. Interesting. As for the stock market rally, it tried to bounce last week but faded badly late in the week. That I would attribute to Russia-Ukraine. Also with bad rate hike news. The 10-year Treasury yield fell 2 basis points to 1.93%, but that's after hitting a 30-month high of 2.065% intraday Wednesday. Russia war fear sent investors into safe havens, while Fed minutes from the January policy meeting didn't offer any hawkish surprises. Crude oil prices fell more than 2% to $91 and held above the $90 mark, and so we are still there. Other than that, that's normally how our market review will go. Twice a week, covering everything in the market, everything that's relevant, and we go over tickers, whatever tickers my followers want, our community wants, and we do that every week for our premium members. If you want to join, click the link below. It will say upgrade chat/market masters, and you can get access to these lives and much more education and alert signals every single day of the week. Other than that, have a great night, and I will talk to you later.